and I'm one of the computer science tutors here today at Tutor. I'm going to be giving a lesson to a boy called Hal who wants to learn more about computer programming. Okay, so back to it, Hal. So yeah, we'll start by creating. Do you remember last week when we talked about variables?
Yeah.
Like a name, and then that name's associated to kind of like an object.
Yeah.
Do you remember some types of objects we had last week?
We had like numbers, didn't we?
We had numbers, yeah, and
well, we had words.
Yeah, and what was the special name we had for the words?
A list.
Oh
no. What was it?
Begins with an S.
A script.
All close.
Oh, what was it?
Do you want me to tell you?
Okay, yeah.
String. Remember that, a string?
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yeah. So another type of object we can have is a list, and a list can be made up of other objects as well. So you can have a list of strings, or a list of numbers, or a list of characters, or whatever. So to make a list, all we have is our variable name. And then, so do you want to write your name of your variable? So just start off with like my list or something.
Okay.
Create the variable. Yeah, it's got to be one word, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this from last week. We talked about how if a variable has like 2 words in it, we can make the second word, like the first letter of the second word, capitalized so that it's easier to read.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
We'll do that then.
So yeah, we've created a list by using the square brackets. So do a square bracket. No, they're curly brackets. The square brackets. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we can just start populating this with elements of our list. So why don't we just start with the numbers 1 to 5. So all you do is you type in a number and then separate each of them with a comma.
Okay. So should I just do like 1, 2?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Should I do more?
Yeah, all the way up to 5.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so now we've got our list. There are things we can do with it. So for example, we can just print out the list. Do you remember print from last week?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to you print it out like you'd print out a string? You can just print out the variable.
Print. Then do you do brackets?
Yep.
My list.
Yep. And then if you run that.
Oh yeah, it does.
Perfect. So what we can do as well, we can add to our list. So in Python, you know how we talk about objects like strings or lists or integers?
Yeah.
What you do, you can apply functions to those objects. So this object, which is a list, we can apply a function called append.
Okay.
Which adds like a value to the end of it. So what you can do is if you write your list, so write your variable my list.
So what?
So you can start a new code thing for this if you want. That's it. So the good thing about Google Colab, it will remember your work from the previous one. So my list will automatically be in this. So you don't need to write it out again.
Oh, okay.
But you can write, so to do this, you write my list, the name of the variable. Wrong way around.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I accidentally put caps lock on.
Yeah. And then put a full stop there. And then append, the word append. Yeah, there you go. So it's got suggested there.
Yeah.
And then the function brackets.
So these?
Not quite. The kind of curved ones, the normal brackets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then. And then the number that you want to add to your list. So that could be anything. or whatever you want to add to the list. It doesn't have to be a number.
I'll just put 6.
Yeah, makes sense. So the full stop there basically means this is an object. Apply this function to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we apply the append function to my list, or the variable my list, yeah? And so if you then do another line and print out your list again, and then run the whole code, you'll hopefully see that you've added number 6 to your list.
Print. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
So there are loads of other functions you can do with lists. We'll go through a few of them now. So there's a function called count, which basically it just counts your list and tells you how many elements are in it. So some of these functions are a bit different in the fact that they don't actually modify the list, but they produce a new variable or a new object which you can assign to a variable. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So when you call .count on your list, it doesn't change your list at all, but it kind of gets the answer for you, and then you can do something with that. So what you can do is if you open a new code section.
Okay.
And then you can just write print. And then you can do find. So how do you think you know it's a function, so you put the function brackets in.
Okay, so
Print, yeah. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to print the number of items in the list.
Yeah.
So how do you think you do that from what I've told you?
Use words. Would you? So is it like my list and then?
Yeah, exactly.
Something. I'm not really sure.
So you know how we did append?
Yeah.
We've got this function called count.
So okay.
We use the
dots. Yeah. Counts.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's got it there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then don't forget the function brackets because it's a function.
Oh yeah, I've done them.
No, as in after count, because count also a function.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you don't have to. No. You had it almost. You had it just then. So you see in where we've got in the second code block, we've got append and then brackets.
Yeah.
So just do the same there, but you don't have to put any number in. But you need the brackets so that the Python knows that it's a function.
Like this.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
So now if you run that, what do you think is going to happen?
It's gonna say like how many. Like
exactly.
What's in your list? My list.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the error? Oh, sorry. Got the count function wrong. What the count function does, it doesn't tell you the length of the list. It tells you how many of a certain element are in that list. So in this case, if you need to put in a value into that function, such as one of the values, and it'll tell you how many are in there. So in the count function, if you put in the number 3, what do you think it will say?
Then it'll say. Oops. So will it say? Well, it will say 6, won't it?
Not quite. How many elements? How many objects that are the same as 3 are in that list?
Oh, 1.
1, yeah. So what happens, do you think, if you put in the object, if it tries to count how many number 7s are in there? So if you put 7 into that function. Do you want to try it? See what happens?
Okay, so what?
So in
I
the
don't
count.
really understand.
Okay, so the count function will return and tell you how many of that object are.
Yeah.
So you give the function in the brackets, you give it the object you want it to count, it will count it and then turn into that number. Does that kind of make sense? So
yeah.
do you want to try that for me? Try counting how many number 7s are in that list.
0.
Yeah, but get the computer to do it for you. So you can use the code block number 5. You can use that.
Oh, okay. Here.
Yep. So you just in the brackets after count, just put in the number 7.
Okay.
Yep. And run that.
0.
There you
Okay.
go.
But then if you did 6, it would be 1, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
So why don't you, in code block 2, why don't you try adding another 6 to the list and then run code block 3 again and see what happens. So yeah, in code block 2, add another 6 to the list.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So then print that 3.
3. That is weird.
Huh?
Oh, I think it's because you've run the code block more than once, it's added to it. So the first time you ran it added 6, and now you've added 6 again, so it's added 3 6s. So if you keep on running the code block number 2, so if you just run it a couple more times, you'll find that the list is getting longer and longer and longer. Does that make sense? So if you run it now, so yeah, number 2 even, sorry. There you go. Yeah. And it keeps on just adding them every time you run that block. Yeah. Okay, so another function we can do is the reverse function, and as you can guess with that, it just reverses the order of the list. So do you want to open a new code block, reverse the list for me, and print out the result?
Okay. So how would I do that? My list.
Yeah.
And then
So the function's called reverse.
So dot reverse.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then what will be next?
So remember, it's a function. So what do we need?
Brackets.
Yep.
And then so it's there.
Yep. So that's just that little message there is telling you how to use the function and what it does.
Okay.
So you've done that, and now this function doesn't take in any arguments or any values, so nothing goes in the brackets because it doesn't need any, like, there's only one way to reverse a list, isn't there?
Yeah.
You don't need any special information.
Okay.
So now you need to print out your list.
So what do I need to put in the brackets?
So you don't need anything in those brackets.
Well, there are a lot of 6s.
Yeah, 6s. Okay, so why don't we do something about that? What the remove function does is it removes, you pass in, you give the function a value, like an object, and the first object that comes across, it's the same as that, removes from the list. Let's say we were to give it the number 5, it would go through the list until it came across the number 5, and then remove it from the list. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we remove the number 5 from the list? How do you think you do that?
Would you do my list. Would you do dot remove?
Yep.
And then in brackets, and then just 5.
Yep. And then print the list, so we can see what it's done.
Print my list.
So remember print say
Oh yeah.
function, so you've got a colon in there as well you need to get rid of.
Oh yeah. There.
Cool. So there, yeah, I was going to say, because you ran this list already, you've removed the only 5 that's in there.
Oh
and
yeah.
so when we run it again, there's no 5 to remove, and so there's an error.
So should I put maybe remove 4 and then?
Yeah, or get rid of some of the 6s. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Or could you remove like 6? Would that remove all the 6s or just one?
No, it just removes the first one in the list. So if you run that now,
make it remove more than one?
well, you'd run this function more than once, effectively, and there are other functions as well you could use to do it as well. But yeah, so you just do it more than once, really. Cool. There you go. 6, 3, 2, 1. There you go. So what have we done? There's sort as well, and that just sorts the list. So why don't you add some more numbers, add some more random numbers to your list, and then sort them.
So then, could you do like should I add them at the top?
No, you can add them there. It's fine.
So my list equals.
No, if you did that, you'd be, because the variable my list, the actual word my list, the variable is assigned to, the 3, the 2, and the 1 there. So if you do an equal sign and assign it to a new list, that means you've basically got rid of that old list. Does that make sense?
Oh
because
yeah. Okay.
The old list doesn't have a variable anymore, does it? It kind of has. Yeah. So what we want to do, we want to add to our original list, don't we?
Yeah.
So how did we do that before?
Oh, we do dots adds. Can you do that?
Close. Different word for add. Also begins with an A. It's the one that's suggested just there. Yeah, there we go. And so yeah, add some random numbers. So you have to do that one at a time.
So brackets 4.
Yeah.
And then can I do comma?
No, unfortunately not with this one.
Okay.
There is another function you can
just
use.
run it and then.
Yeah.